All right. So on that note, I think it's about time, and this is where a really cool like opening video would be nice, but we'll just jump right into our
we'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah. I am also going to get a more comfortable chair, he said, after sitting here for not even 30 minutes. I'm sitting in a folding, like it's got a little cushion on it, but it's like one of those like folding chairs, you know, you'd get it like a convention hall or something. It's not great for long sitting. All right. So for VHS Talk, the main thing, do you have anything specifically on the VHS Talk front?
I don't think, I'm trying to think if I've picked up anything over the last week or so.
Okay.
Not really. I think the latest thing we did, probably, I mean, for all I know, it's going to air after this, but it was our last unboxing that we did. I won't give anything away, but that was I think that was the last VHS acquisition that I was involved with. So
yeah,
I got nothing for today. What do you have?
Well, I was gonna say, since I'm intending this to go out like very shortly after we record it, that unboxing probably isn't going to show up till like sometime in like late July. So I think, or maybe later. I'm not sure. I have to figure out how the timeline works. But yes, but yeah. So the main thing I got, and I'm sure there are people watching this channel that are very familiar with this company. But I knew of them because of all the various like VHS documentaries that you and I have watched. Mm-hmm. But I never really, up until recently, checked out their site and gotten into like some of the things they were offering. And that is, hopefully it's showing up, and I'm going to go to their website here in a second on the screen share, but Lunchmeat VHS is the name of the company. And I'm going to real quick share them. So this is their site. Let me close out this, and I'm going to go to their homepage for right now. So they have a ton of really cool stuff that you could check out. They're actually up to issue number 12, which I'll get to in a second. But so they have a magazine that goes out. I'm assuming it's maybe once a quarter. It may be more often. Maybe it's a once a month, but I don't think it is. I think I ended up actually buying 11, and then like right after that, I think 12 came out, or they were very short distance between the two. But anyway, I expected to get like a cool, handful of pages magazine that would be fun and be kind of like a cool little nostalgia trip. What I got, and let me go back to the wider view here. What I got is this really well-made, well-produced. I don't know if you could tell from there, but like from the glossiness, I mean, it's very like thick stock paper, right? What I love is the inside is, even though the paper's thick, like actually I was kind of in a weird way hoping, there's a magazine called Scary Monsters that I'm a big fan of that uses like the old newspaper
pulpy
paper. Yeah, like that print, you know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
And while this paper is actually much better quality, for sure, it's got like this zine vibe. Like if you look at it, it looks like it was Xeroxed, I mean, it's better quality. I mean, obviously the print is good and everything, but it just has that aesthetic, which I absolutely love. It's got that DIY quality to it, but it's so cool, man. It's like they go into, like if I just real quick, I don't want to give too much away from the issue because you should definitely pick this up. But it's produced, the editor-in-chief is Josh Schaefer. He's a guy I know has been on several of those documentaries that we've watched. This dude that I would love to one day get on the show just to talk about this magazine and his love of VHS and all that kind of thing, because the guy knows his stuff. But yeah, there's tons of reviews for classics like Bachelor Party Massacre, My Precious Revenge, Eat the Peach, Last Way Out, Shattered, If Your Kid's on Drugs, a anti-drug movie starring Burt Reynolds and Judd Nelson. So you can't go wrong there. Tons of great reviews of these movies, and it's great because they always have like the VHS box cover art in there. They have various other things. There's as you go through I can't even say this right. Analogizing instead of advertising, audio, video plus. So delving like deeper into the AVP Paul. Yeah. So they get into like all the kind of stuff that you might get, when these movies came out, presumably on VHS at the video stores, like all the various promotional items, that kind of stuff. Dude, it's awesome. It's a fantastic magazine. So, go ahead.
Joel, it's safe to say that this is for the serious physical media hound. Like,
yes, If you aren't into VHS, I don't know why you would begin this other than maybe you don't collect it anymore and you just like to take a trip down memory lane, and it's 100% wonderful for that. But this is great because
that's what I was going to ask you. This is more than just somebody that misses the good old days. This is for your avid collectors of VHS and VCR, because I think you said there's some practical articles in there as well that would, I guess, help the collector or the DIY repairer. Yeah, and here's so I think I showed you issue. Which one did I show you? I show you this one, or I show you this one? I think I showed you this one, right? Mm-hmm. Do you remember which one I showed you first? Was that with the one? Okay, that's issue 12. I think it was number 11. Okay, so this is 11. And in it, they cover, so we've got Gary Cohen rewinds video violence. Video violence is a shot on video classic that I don't know if you've ever seen it. Tyson is an absolute... Is that the one that does it shot on VHS? Does it open in like the sporting goods store with the two weirdo pervs watching like the fitting room?
Yes, right. It does. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Well, then I can officially say me, you, and probably 4 other people on the planet, I think, have probably seen video violence. You know what? I have a feeling the folks that stop by Mom and Pops, they may know video violence. I just have this feeling. But that being said, it's a movie we should absolutely cover at some point, because it is that'd be the kind of movie that would be great to do like commentary over, like where we just got like a watch together, like while we watch it, you guys out there watch it, and we all just kind of comment together. That'd be so much fun. But anyway, and I'll lay a $5 blind bet that it's probably on Tubi. Oh, I'm fairly positive it is. I think that's where I saw it. It may be. I can't remember, because I'd heard of it, but I hadn't seen it up until relatively recently. And so, but that's what I'm saying. It's the kind of magazine that covers video violence and does it seriously. You know what I mean? They're not being ironic. They're not being meta. They're not deconstructing. Screw that. They love this stuff and they're covering it, and God bless them for it. Yeah. They do this is the kind of profile work I want to see. I don't want to see profiles on like elitist Hollywood snobs. I want profiles on asbestos felt of the movie Killing Spree made by Tim Ritter. That's what I want, folks. That's what I want. So they've got that. And then they've also, I believe this is is it this issue or this issue? Hold on. One of them, because to your point, you made the comment about like there's actually like things that can help you with your VCR. Okay, like it's VH Science, right? So it deals with mold and dealing with mold on tapes, and it gets into like how to deal with it and blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. So I got the 2 issues, and I realized for just a few bucks, you know what they had? Dude, they've got an actual pamphlet. I don't know if you can make it out. It's literally a how-to step-by-step guide. You see it? Yep, and that's what I was trying to get at. Is this is more than just a hey, stop by if you love nostalgia type thing. This is for folks that are serious about this and are growing collections and restoring and maintaining. You know what I mean? Because this is a legit mold removal from video cassettes. This is a legit problem. I just realized if we ever just put out the audio version of these, I probably need to also state the things that we're talking about specifically, just in case somebody's just listening, which is fine. But mold removal for video cassettes is it's a not a very big booklet. You can obviously see compared to, because I actually thought it was gonna be like a full magazine. I'm like, how would you do that as a magazine? But it's actually just like a little handy booklet, right? Right. So, but what's cool is it goes through literally step by step, and I feel like mold on VHS tape is probably one of the bigger issues that a lot of collectors run into. I know a buddy of ours that we're getting to know, Dewey Sean, huge VHS collector, great guy, sells them. I know he's talked about, getting like he goes to like a storage thing or an estates or whatever. He gets a bunch of tapes, and then I've heard him talk about the mold issue, and I've heard other people obviously talking about it. I think fortunately up to this point, I think maybe I've gotten a couple that had something on them, but they wasn't horrible. But what's great is this can save them. So I think it's worth a few bucks, in my opinion. They're not a sponsor. We're not at a level where we've got sponsorships, and we would always tell you. And that's the other thing, just so we're clear on this. Tyson and I've discussed. So on other podcasts and things I do, specifically the one my wife and I do for our business, we don't do third-party like ads. I mean, we've got a it's called Half Size Me. We've got a YouTube channel, and that channel, because it's on YouTube, gets ads, right? That happens. But we've never had like Right.
we're pitching someone else's thing on purpose, certainly not on the main show. And we don't do that. So, but that's that show. This show, I'm willing to do sponsorships, but it would only be for things that you or I actually use and can swear by. I wouldn't want to just pitch, I'm not to knock any of you out there that do this, but like, some supplement or some rando thing that I would never use. But this kind of thing I use or will use, and I could see any collector using this for sure.
Well, and specifically, because I think that for folks that maybe aren't lucky enough to have something like a Viper Video in Tampa that we have, an actual brick and mortar store that still sells physical media in bulk. If you're picking up VHS, a lot of it's probably going to be at yard sales and flea markets and the occasional eBay purchase. And sadly, a lot of those VH tapes have probably been sitting in garages and attics and basements for the last 20 plus years.
Especially if it's Florida, where humidity is what it's all about. I've got a dehumidifier where near mom and pops here because man, you don't mess with that stuff.
And I think that, and I mean, we even have dear friends, I think, that would laugh at us and say, yeah, that's why I only deal with streaming. But I think that's part of the challenge and part of the adventure with collecting physical media and doing what we do is there's a little bit of that, almost like Indiana Jones archaeologist, analog
artifacts,
restoration,
analog artifacts,
absolutely.
Man. That's what 100%.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure as this goes, and I'm making a commitment more to Tyson than any of you out there that I will be trying to keep my rants to a relative minimum. But occasionally, that's honestly, Tyson gets paid the big bucks because he's here to be like, all right, come on back, buddy, come on back.
Exactly.
But I feel to back up what you're saying.
I need like a William Castle Tingler thing on your chair that I can control on my end.
I just go,
so when you start, when you start going on a rant, I can hit it and shock your ass back on track.
Yeah. Eventually it'll be like Pavlovian. I'll be so afraid of the shock. I'll just, anytime I have a thought beyond I must just repeat the corporate line. But I will say this, to your point, the reason why I love collecting, because I got away from collecting, full disclosure, I'm not going to be a poser I've been collecting for 20 years and I've got tens of thousands of, I don't. Because I used to have quite a few tapes, got rid of them all when DVD came out, started stockpiling DVD, got rid of a lot of that. Now, actually, I still have quite a few, not like tons, but I've got some of my DVD collection, my original collection. But I did the whole thing for a while there where I got rid of all the boxes because my wife and I were both, we had so much stuff for a while there. We've got 3 kids. It became I got very much into minimalism and the idea of clearance stuff. And honestly, I still like doing it every once in a while. So now that I'm recollecting, I'm trying to be very intentional. Now I got to be careful because recently there was a place in St. Pete that we didn't get to cover in those videos that we shot recently, Tyson. But I picked up quite a few VHS tapes. They were $1 a piece. But I'm looking through going, honestly, I mean, I like them because of that they're tapes and that they don't make this on tape anymore. I get that. But honestly, one of the things you and I've talked about is starting to do giveaways and things for the show when I get excess stuff into the shop because I don't want it to get overflowing. And I'm trying to be very intentional with the stuff I keep for me, myself, and I. That being said, there is the thrill of the hunt, which is obviously the name of some of our videos, is all what it's all about for me. Yes, streaming is convenient. It's great. I love lots of aspects. I'm not going to be one of these people who pretends I don't ever go. No, of course I do. I mean, that'd be a lie. But I feel like there's something about knowing they don't make this anymore. It's not going to, and it won't exist forever. It's got a shelf life. No matter 100 years from now, these tapes may not even be functional. And so there's something about the fact that it's not forever. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a better word, and you being the writer can help me on this. But I feel like there's something about things that are temporary, and I like that about
There's a shelf life for this type of stuff. Certainly,
I'm getting a drink. So
it's funny.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, well, and what I was going to say is one of the things that hit me the other day that we haven't really talked about, but I was watching. I'm not going to tell you what I was watching because again, I think it's something that we've either covered or we were going to cover, and I don't want to spoil anything. So suffice it to say, I was watching something on VHS, and there was a solid probably 8 minutes worth of previews at the beginning of it, which I can remember back in the day. I mean, how pissed off did you used to be when you would rent something and pop it in like, oh, just come on with the feature presentation already. But now I love that because I mean, there's an entire generation of people that have no concept. I mean, unless they go to the theater, obviously then they know what a preview is, but that rental experience. I mean, there's so many things that I would run back. I would rent something on Friday, watch the movie, and then run back to the video store on Saturday to rent something else based strictly on what I saw in the previews the night before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and by the way, that would be a fun bit, and I don't know if I should call it a bit. It's not like we're doing it for comedic sake, but a fun thing to do occasionally on here as well would be to do like a watch of the trailers that would randomly appear at like not even going blind. We don't know what it's going to be, but then what do we get? Like, and it'd be like 10, 15 minutes, but just getting to see like what those trailers were. And I know we'll I'm sure get into this as the show progresses, but we have this whole issue with trailers. I'm addicted to them. Tyson has managed to break that addiction. And I will complain about how, especially modern trailers. I mean, trailers have kind of ruined movies for a long time, to be fair. But I definitely will complain about it more now. But to which Tyson points out, hey, don't watch the trailer, dummy. And so we have this.
Put the bottle down, man.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
If I'm feeling the temptation, I'm getting the shakes. He points out I should just call him. He's my sponsor. But that being said, I still occasionally, when a new trailer comes out, I would love to cover on the channel. He won't watch it. Oh, sorry. He won't watch it. But I probably will, depending on the movie. Now, a lot of times I'll start a trailer. And if I feel like it's giving too much away, I'll stop it. I just want the tone. I want the vibe. So there might be some of that going on. I don't know. But I would love to do that as well. But anyway, now I'm getting off track. See, this is what happens, kids. Those of you that listen to Retro Movie Geek.
I was about to reel you in.
Yeah.
The last thing I'm going to say about the trailers is the interesting thing about this one that I watched the other day is, and I can remember this growing up too, is I could remember I used to rent the same movies so often that just based on the trailers that they showed, like I remember, I remember these 3 previews.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every time, and that happened to me the other day. I started watching. I'm like, oh god, I knew exactly what the third preview was going to be, even though I hadn't seen the VHS version of this movie in 25 years. Just because I had rented it so much, I'm like, God, I know what this. I know exactly what this is gonna be. So.